What up, guys? We're back with Market
Game and Watch.
and we're going to be talking today about the 5 most expensive games that sold across all systems in October of 2022. I'm Tommy.
And I'm Jeff. And coming in at number 5, we've got Pokemon Box, Ruby and Sapphire, with the big box, so complete in very good condition on the Gamecube. This is almost $5,000, and it looks like with shipping it actually is. What do you think about that one, Tommy? That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, for the rarest standalone, released game on the GameCube, I guess you could only get this one through the Pokemon Center, if I'm not mistaken, which is the one in New York, and maybe you could get it online on their website way back in the day in 2004 when it came out. And I mean, $5,000 for the big box, that's definitely, a hefty price. I know the complete in box without the outer box and, decent shape goes anywhere from about $1,600 to, like, I've seen sales as high as $2,600 if it has all the, inserts, the stickers, the memory card, the cable. So definitely a pretty wild sale, man. I mean, it looks like online you could buy a sealed one right now if you have $13,000 plus $13 shipping.
My goodness. Yeah, that's a hefty price tag, and I totally get. I've heard how rare it is, that it was available for a short time, like you said, online and in that Poke Center in New York. It's so interesting, though, because as the title would lead you to believe, it is a box for your Pokemon. You can, like, store and display them. So what's really interesting is, like, it allows you to play Ruby and Sapphire. It's not even its own game. It's a utility disc. It even calls it that on the back, but rarity-wise, I mean, I guess they just went all in and they're like, you know what? $5,000, Pokemon box, let's complete my GameCube set or something like that, right?
Yeah, man, it's essentially, like you said, it's just Pokemon storage device. I mean, it's like someone's PC, but the big box version.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to spend your money, and they went hard with that one. What about number 4? What do we have there?
So number 4, it looks like we have Pokemon Ruby VGA 85 Plus Gold sold for almost $8,435.
Geez, I know Pokemon games have gotten expensive. Like, we've seen the cartridges get more expensive, even just going for the boxes, and apparently sealed is just that golden cherry on top, right? I mean, it's just like glistening in its little acrylic case, and someone's like, you know what, let me just drop $8,000 on that right now. I mean, do you think that this price is going to keep going up for Pokemon, or what do you think about, like, sealed prices on the Advance, I guess?
So, I mean, there's been a massive downturn. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, the height was in July of 21, and it looks like a 9.8 sold for $40,800, and a 9.6 Wada sold on the same day for $19,000. So half the price for an extra point grade. So right now, though, I mean, closer to this time, I mean, someone bought a 9.6 A plus in January of 22 for $5,100. So that's closer to the market. And then it looks like another one sold in November of last year for $4,800. So really, this was a pretty high sale for that. I mean, for this being on eBay and not on Heritage Auction, the seller definitely walked away the winner on that, in my opinion.
I'm kind of curious, though. Do you know offhand, like, what are the most expensive sealed Pokemon games? Is, like, Gen 1 more expensive, or do you know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, and we're actually going to be talking about that because the next game on our list is actually Pokemon Red.
Oh my gosh. Charizard just looking beautiful in that case. And what did that sell for?
Yeah, somebody got a sealed copy of Pokemon Red, and it's the Sandshrew one. They're saying first print. I mean, I can't confirm that. I can tell you it's definitely an early print because if it has Rattata, is that how you say it? Rattata?
Rattata, yeah.
Yeah. It's got the purple rat Pokemon on it. It's definitely a later print, but if it's got Sandshrew on the back, it's definitely an earlier one. And somebody paid $8,457 with shipping, and this was a 9.6A by Wada. I actually think that the person who bought this killed it. I'm not saying I would have bought it. First of all, you know, almost $9,000 to be just dropping like that. I mean, that's pretty you know, hefty price tag, but it looks like you know,
It's an expensive sand shrew.
it is definitely an expensive sand shrew, bro. See, any July 2021 and even October 2021, I mean, these sales prices are just absolutely insane. It looks like a 9.4 A++ sold for $132,000 back in July of 2021. Same print. So maybe it is a first print. 132 grand for a 9.4 A++, and then $156,000 for a 9.8 A++ back in October of 21. So 1 year later, it dropped all the way down to about 8 grand. So someone just lost $148,000. I mean, sure, this isn't a 9.8 A++, but it's still a 9.6, bro.
That's like, yeah, it's like less than 10% of the price, and it just makes me wonder, like, when they were going through and, I don't know, made this little alteration, they're like, you know what, screw Sand Shrew and let's get someone else in there. Like, who knew that this little silly decision, whoever knows, or like, why they would ever make it, but that someone would just cough up big, they're like, oh, it's got Sand Shrew, and just, my heart skipped a beat when you said 132 grand. I just cannot even believe it.
Yeah, and that's not even the most expensive, bro. Someone paid 156 for a slightly, well, not a slightly higher. A 9.8 is definitely higher than a 9.4, but that's besides the point. The middle grade being a 9.6A, the seal just not being as nice. I mean, I think I'd rather have the $8,000 9.6A than the 9.4 A++ at 132, but I'm not a mathematician.
Dude, honestly, like, this has me, all these, like, just heavy-hitting sales. I'm getting flush in the face. I'm not even lying to you. What is number 2? What could it possibly be?
Number 2 is actually 2 Nintendo games, both NES. A Circle Seal, both games are Circle Seal, and graded VGA 80, which is near mint condition. We got a Contra for the NES and a Bionic Commando for the NES.
So Contra, just what an excellent NES classic, and I know the same can be said for Bionic Commando, but Contra was, I believe, more popular. You know, more people played that one, and I'm sad to admit I've not played Bionic Commando yet, but it's on my list. But with that aside, I can understand why people would go for those awesome titles. Classic Konami and Capcom just pushing out those early classics. 10 grand for 2 games, is that pretty decent, or what do you think?
I do believe to have the first print Contra and it being around, SOQ is what they call it, seal of quality. Is that right? So, yeah. I mean, bro, somebody paid. Listen, like I said, guys, the July 9th, 2021 Heritage Auction was insane. That's where everyone called BS. Mario 64 sold for like what, 1.5 million? I mean, that was a 1 in a million. If you had any games at Heritage, I mean, you're sitting on a stack of money right now, dude. Anybody who submitted games and got lucky enough to be in that July 9th, 2021 auction and as a seller, I mean, they're laughing all the way to the bank still today, bro. A Poke Park on the Wii sold for like 20 grand.
Oh.
I actually confirmed, I know the person who had it listed on eBay for like, I think they had it listed for $1,000 or best offer. It never sold. They sent it to Heritage Auction and then it sold for like 20,000 plus. Absolute insanity in July of 2021. So back to the task at hand though. Contra 9.8 A plus in July 9th of 21 sold for $150,000, bro.
My balls hurt hearing this stuff.
I mean, bro, it's insane. I mean, and that's old. Let's real quick, most recent sale on Heritage. You know what? January, see, they got a good deal. The person who listed that, that the buyer who bought that got an insane deal. Because listen, a 9.6 A plus, the same grade that sold for $150,000, it's only down $130,800. It's now at $19,200, and that actually sold 6 days ago on January 20th on Heritage Auction. And I mean, I know it sucks for the guy who bought it at 150, but bro, the person who just copped both of these games, I mean, they got a solid deal, and I didn't even do any research on Bionic Commando. LOL. Sorry, Bionic Commando.
Dude, they must have honestly, especially if they're like familiar with the history of the prices of how high Contra got, like getting just obscenely high and then getting both for like 10% of that. I mean, less. That's insane. Going from NES, now we have to go to the Nintendo's successor, the Super NES. What do we have going on there?
Yeah, bro, for the Super Nintendo at number 1, we got an absolute banger. Super uncommon game.
Coming in at the top of the list, number 1, Super Copa. This one went for $15,000 with one bid at the last second.
Super Copa, this game is kind of crazy. I guess, it was released in North America, but it has one of those things. I guess it was only released in Latin American countries. It's still ESRB rated, and I guess on the WADA population, there's not a single graded complete in box or a sealed copy of this game. And I guess the only information I see here is, I guess, anywhere from a sale in 2012 for $4,000 and a sale in 2015 for a sealed copy for $6,900 before sealed games even, were worth anything. Well, they were always worth something, but before the craze happened, I mean, that's pretty wild.
Super Copa, I definitely remember it as just an insanely obscure game, even just the cartridge on its own, but it'd show up and only go for around $200 or $300. It seemed like the price didn't really catch up with the rarity because they seem sometimes impossible to find.
For sure. I want people to know, like, how rare this game is, though. Like, I guess this shit's really rare. Like, it looks like a CIB sold, and even in 2016, somebody paid $3,500 for a CIB, which is kind of crazy to think because right now there's 2 on eBay, both of them just sitting there, and one of them is $3,000, and the other one's $2,800. Yeah, $2,800 and $3,000, and they're both just sitting there. Yeah, fuck it, dude. I just bought both of them.
Did you seriously just do that?
Nah, bro.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, oh my god, talk about making a statement. Committed to bringing the hype. Just pointing them out and then sniping them both.
Bro, that was fucking hilarious. Definitely keep that in there.
Anyway, guys, that's the top 5 most expensive video games from eBay in October of 2022. We look forward to seeing you guys for the next countdown. Remember to subscribe because there's a lot more where these came from. Thanks again for watching, and have a great rest of your day.